every single book that I read this month either had the parents dead or the parents were like literally horrible and abusive. So I don't know what's going on with me. That was literally my face the entire time reading it. These characters literally live rent-free in my head now. And then this book came along and I was like, what happened to that amazing banter? Hello you guys, my name's Diana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we're going to be doing my February wrap-up, which I had a pretty decent reading month, I will say. I felt like a lot of the books I read this month, I just did not know what to rate them. So I thought it would be fun to kind of show maybe some of the stuff I crocheted this month too, because I have been into crocheting a lot, and I thought like with my monthly wrap-ups I could also show some of the stuff that I crocheted. So I crocheted 3 things this month. The first one being this little lion, and I just thought he's so cute. This is like the company like the Woobles or the Wobbles. I don't really know how you pronounce it, but I love doing their little crochet stuff. It's literally how I taught myself how to crochet, and I think they're really cute. So that was the first thing I did. And then you guys have probably seen me wear this cardigan. I crocheted this whole cardigan and I've worn it a few times, and it's the first big crochet project I've done, so I was really happy that it turned out and I could wear it and it didn't unravel the first time I wore it. So that was like my first huge project. And then I did this little dragon. It's supposed to be a Braxos from Throne of Glass, and I love him. I literally was thinking about like selling them, having an Etsy shop and doing like a little sale on them, like crocheting like a couple of them and then selling them. He's got little wings and I just love how he turned out. He's going right on my Throne of Glass shelf and he's just literally so cute, and I love his eyes. So now since that's out of the way, let's talk books. So I started off March by reading a thriller, and that was Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. So I rated this book 3.5 star. It was kind of cool because there is like different POVs in this book. Pretty much this woman's daughter goes missing, so you get some of the POVs from the mom, and then you also get a couple POVs from the daughter, kind of leading up to finding out what happened to her. I did partially guess the plot twist on this one. I didn't like exactly guess it, but I kind of like knew a majority of it. I just didn't know like how it was gonna come about. So that was kind of a bummer for me, especially because I'm horrible at guessing the plot twist. Usually I can never do it, so that I guessed this one, I was like, okay, then I feel like anyone could guess it if I can. Literally, while I was listening to this book, my face was just constantly like, that was literally my face the entire time reading it. It was kind of disturbing. I will say it's kind of dark. I mean, all thrillers are a little bit, but this one was like kind of like ew. I did feel like the ending was rushed a little bit. I wish they kind of talked more about what happened and, you know, how everyone's coping with what happened. It just felt very rushed, and like we found out everything and then the book was over and I was like, oh, okay. I would still recommend it. The audiobook was good if you're looking for like a quick thriller to read or to listen to on audio. I would recommend it still. It's just, it was kind of disturbing and rushed and a little bit predictable and just kind of like weird. But I would still recommend it. So there you go. That was my first book of the month. So next I started my Boys of Tom and Journey with reading Binding 13. Let me tell you guys, the hype is so real about this series. If you're hesitant on starting it, just start it, because these characters literally live rent-free in my head now. That is all I'm thinking about is Johnny and Shannon, and I recently started Joey's book and I'm just so excited to be back with these characters, and I love them. This book was just like, it literally broke my heart. I cannot tell you guys how, like, if you've seen that this book is a lot, it definitely is a lot, and I would definitely look up trigger warnings and stuff. It deals with a lot of abuse and child neglect and stuff like that, and it was hard to listen to, but like the characters were just so amazing, and the found family, and Johnny is just like so perfect. Also, Gypsy, I think he is so underrated. Why is no one else talking about Gypsy? Because I cannot wait for his book to get released in April. It's all I can think about, and I am trying to get through Joey's book so I can immediately jump into Gipsy's book as soon as it comes out. So I was reading this book and I was like, I don't know, probably about like halfway through it, and I could not stop listening to She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5 because I was like, that's Johnny and Shannon's song. Like, it's literally like Johnny singing about Shannon. So I could not stop listening to it, and then I got to a part in this book where he gives her a playlist of songs to listen to, and She Will Be Loved is the song he tells her to listen to, and I was crying. I was literally bawling my eyes out because I was like, that's the song I've been listening to, and he just told her to listen to it, and it was just like, it was perfect. It was so perfect. So this one I rated 4.5 star. It missed like that half a star just because I did feel like some parts were a little bit dragged out and repetitive, but like these characters are my new babies and my new obsession, and I'm obsessed and I cannot wait to continue. Then I finished the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score by Reading Things We Left Behind. I rated this one a 4 star. I felt like I was disappointed by this one just because I was so excited. This was my most anticipated read of last year, and I kept putting it off just because I was scared that I was going to be disappointed by it because I was looking at other people's reviews. And I kind of was a little bit disappointed by it. I think it's just because Lucian and Salome had the best banter in the first 2 books. Like, anytime we got a little snippet of them, I was living for it. And then this book came along and I was like, what happened to that amazing banter? Like, it just wasn't in this book as much as it was in the other 2. So I felt like their banter was slacking a little bit. I also felt like the whole plot and subplot, I just didn't care that much about. I wasn't into it as much as I was the other books, which makes me so sad because I was so excited for this book. I will say I loved that we got the past and present POV in this book. That definitely like made up for it, to see how they were when they first met and when they were younger and in love, and then kind of working through that now. I missed their banter in this book, and I just wish it was a little bit more like it was in the other books, and that totally might be like a me problem. I built this book up so much in my head, so I'm not surprised I was a little bit disappointed by it. Then I read Catching Feelings by Maren Moore. You guys, this book, please read this book. I am obsessed with this book. I did not think I was gonna like it as much as I did. And then I got like a PR package from her for the release date, and I was literally screaming because I loved it so much. I got the ARC for it, and then like to get her PR package just meant the absolute world to me. Reese, you guys, is so perfect. And usually I'm not into like the golden retriever male main character. Usually I like the more like grumpy ones. He was so perfect, and the way he was obsessed with Vivian, like, it wasn't creepy obsessive where I was like, okay, this is creepy. It was like perfect. He was spoiling her, and he just like only cared about her and wanted her to be happy, and I was just dying. Once I found out that some of this book was based on what actually, like, something that happened in Maren's life, like, my heart literally breaks for her, and I could just tell the emotion she poured into this book. Like, it wasn't just like a spicy romance novel, it was so much more than that. It had emotion, it had healing, it literally was the full package, and that's why I recommend it. And I cannot wait to read Home Run Proposal in April. I know I'm reading them out of order, but I don't care. I cannot wait to read it, and I love it. And the cover, the cutest thing ever. Literally adorable, and totally recommend. Totally recommend. Then I read my only 5-star read, sadly, of March, and that was Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. This book was everything to me. It is literally on the list of some of my favorite books now. And that being said, it was so hard to read and listen to. It was an emotional journey, and I cried so much, and it broke my heart and literally put it back together. Like, I know people say that about a lot of books, but this book literally did that. And like their healing journey together and getting through the horrible stuff that they went through. Like, there was some literal horrible things that happened in this book, but it was just perfect. Literally perfect. It had everything I look for in books: plot, romance, storyline, character development, emotion, everything. And I I love Johnny and Shannon, and I'm sad that this is like their last book, but I know they're going to be in the other books, so that makes up for it. But I love them, and I loved everything about this book. And it's a long book. The audiobook was like 30 hours long, but obsessed. And Gipsy in this book, so funny. He is so funny. I laugh so much when he's in a scene, and that is why I can't wait for his book. And also, I don't know what's happening to me, because all of a sudden I'm loving all like the golden retriever male main characters. I don't know what's happening. I'm being converted because of Gipsy, I guess. I don't know, but totally recommend this series, and I cannot wait to keep reading Joey's story and then read Gipsy's book, because I literally can't wait, and I hope it lives up to all the hype I've built around it in my head. Then I read my first N.S. Perkins book, was A Risk on Forever. So I rated this book 3.5 stars, and I did find out this is her debut. So for a debut book, this was so good, and the writing was so beautiful. I just honestly wish it was a little bit longer, because I felt like I wasn't as connected to the characters as I wanted to be, just because, you know, it's a short book. You can't get too connected with the characters in like 200 pages, but like her story was beautiful. I just wish we had a little bit more time. Also, I feel so stupid because I always thought this cover was literally just water, and then my brother was like watching one of my other videos and he's like, oh, it's two faces. Yeah, I don't know how I never noticed that. I literally picked up this book and like was looking at it for a while. How did I never notice that? I don't know. I did love Addie, who is dealing with a lot in this book, and she is just so selfless and such a strong female main character. Matthias was like super grumpy, and he was pissing me off a little bit, but also like I totally got where he was coming from once you found out some more stuff that went on. And obviously I love Helen. She was just so sweet, and this book was really sad too. And like I said, I read a lot of sad books with a lot of parents dying. I don't know what was with this, but like I said, every single book that I read this month either had the parents dead or the parents were like literally horrible and abusive. So I don't know what's going on with me, but I read a lot of just kind of sad books, honestly. So great, I guess. Okay, then I finally read Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I don't know what took me so long to read this book, because I know it is like everyone's favorite book ever. I love the cover so much. I think it is the cutest cover ever. Ooh, and it kind of matches my nails. So this book I rated a 4-star. I thought it was so cute and like the perfect little second chance romance. I did like it a lot. I did feel like, since there's so much hype around it, I did feel like not disappointed, but I think a little bit let down, just because I had it in my head as something that it wasn't, which is a me problem. It's my fault. But I definitely understand why people love it so much. I thought it was going to be a lot more emotional than it was. Obviously it was still emotional, but like I didn't find myself crying, which I'm surprised, because I thought for sure I was going to cry. But I love Elliot's character. A male main character who loves to read is just perfect. Literally, in my eyes, if he reads, it's perfect. I loved Elliot. I loved Macy. I loved their past POV. I thought it displayed perfectly how like high school romance is, where like you don't really know what you're doing and it's awkward and uncomfortable and like kind of innocent too in a way, and that's literally how they were. And I thought that was like perfectly displayed, and then it jumps to them in the present, kind of working through stuff they went through, figuring out, you know, what tore them apart, and kind of healing as well. And I did really love that. Why it's not a 5-star is I wish, you know, we got a little bit more with them. Also, when we found out why Macy was mad at Elliot, I felt like that was just kind of like brushed aside, even though I felt like that was kind of like a big deal why she was mad at him. I was surprised that like it wasn't talked about a little bit more. But I would totally recommend it. Like the perfect little second chance romance with the dual timeline, and just really cute overall. I loved the characters, and they're just super like lovable. Okay, the last book that I read was Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. This was my first book that I've read by her. I don't know why my bookmark is still in it. And I seriously still don't know how I feel about it. I think I'm gonna end up rating it like a 3.5 star, because it was like a fun read. It took place in Hawaii and on an island, so I did like that aspect of it because like I felt like I was on a vacation. Also, I would not want to be on a vacation where they were because some of the stuff that happened was really messed up and just like ew, literally. But it was a very enjoyable read and a read that I kept wanting to go back to and listen to and, you know, see what was going on, see what was gonna happen. I still don't know how I feel about the ending, honestly. I just finished this book like a day ago. I like the female main character. I felt like she was a total badass and I love that aspect of it. I just don't know if I like how everything was handled. But if you're looking for kind of like a thriller that's very like tropical, it takes place on an island, they sail to this island, they're the only ones on there, more people show up, they're like forming connections with these people, and then stuff starts happening, bodies start being found, and it kind of all goes downhill from there. So that's me talking about it without spoiling too much, but I think I'm gonna rate it like a 3.5 star overall. I think it was like a fun read. I just don't know if it's like too memorable. Okay guys, that is it. That is my March reading wrap up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and for supporting my channel. We are so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is just like insane to me. I never thought this channel would grow that much and pretty quickly too. So I'm really excited. I have some really fun videos planned for this month that I'm very excited to share with you guys. So if you want to subscribe to my channel, that way you will never miss a video, I would really appreciate it. And if you liked this video, you can leave a like and comment and let me know if you've read any of these books because I love reading and replying to your guys' comments. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and I hope you have a great day. Bye!